Welcome to Club Domingo, brought to you by Cyclone Comics.
Let's go.
Let's go. Are you pumped, Tim? Are you pumped?
I'm pumped.
Don't lie. You've been
full of tea and toast.
You've been a bit under the weather this week, so you can just sit there quietly and just mend.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've had a strange backward-looking week of doing tax and all that kind of stuff, so I haven't been very productive, but got bogged down in boring stuff of life. But even though you've been ill over the last week or so, your board of original art there in the mirror is looking quite black.
Yeah, I got 5. 1 just there, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's amazing.
And that 5th one has probably got another half hour's work on it, but nearly done. It's so much fun. Manny's pencils are great to work with, and there's enough roughness in it in places for me to feel like I'm allowed to play, and there's enough solidity in most of the important places that I don't get lost. So yeah, it's good fun, having fun. And these pages so far, I mean, you can't really see them. They're reasonably complicated, I think.
I can spot a typo on page 2.
There's heaps. I'm hoping that I've got like the next 5 pages or so a little bit more talking head like, and I usually can whip through those inking wires pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah. But no, I when I lettered it, I sent it. Well, I sent it to Darren Close because this is co-starring Killaroo, so I got him to check it, and he found I think 1 or 2 typos. And I sent it to Michael Michelandos, who wrote it. He's the co-creator of Greener Pastures, and he found more like 8 or so. and then I got Anne-Marie to double check that. So yeah,
What's going on, McEwen? You were raised in a Catholic school, weren't you?
I know. Jeez. I'm going to use it. Yeah, I was too busy covering my ass. I've got it.
La 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 la.
I'm not on drugs. Like I've been sick, but I'm not on drugs to get over it. But my head's still not quite all there. So maybe there's less filters than usual. I've already given. I'm using I'm using these to do the corrections, and I got this. I haven't done it yet, but this is what I'm going to do.
Right. Okay.
So I just got these from the local office works. I got this idea from Terry Moore, who does Strangers in Paradise and associated Strangers in Paradise universe books.
Yeah.
Watching his YouTubes while I was doing all that remastering for the trade paperback, he said that when he makes a lettering mistake, this is what he uses to stick over because they're removable. They're removable.
Right. Okay.
So they should be low tack. So rather than like painting over it with white paint or whatever, and then trying to get a nice flow of a line, he just sticks that on, cuts it with a blade, peels off the bits he doesn't need, and then reletters, and it's fine. So I'm going to give that a go. I think that'll be a great solution rather than me re-lettering on paper, which is what I used to do, and then sticking that on, and then it's like that extra half a mil to a mil thick, and all of that stuff just causes more problems.
I wonder.
I was just worried that the brand wouldn't be in Australia, which meant I would have to try to find a similar brand. But that's exactly what he uses: Avery removable labels. So.
Right. Okay.
One
assumes that the glue is quite permanent going into the years ahead.
Well, it is removable, so I don't know that it's fully going to stay forever.
Right. Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, you do only need it to get to the scan stage, and then you can protect the artwork as best you can, and fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't believe there were so many mistakes, actually. Like, I thought I was doing pretty well. And when Darren found 1 or 2, I thought, yeah, well, that's tracks, 14 pages, maybe a couple of mistakes. But Michael found a number of them.
Hopeless.
Yes, hopeless. But yeah.
Happy with the way it's going? How's your headspace with getting a bit of production going of just inking?
Oh, so good. Even so... Today is Wednesday, and I taught last Thursday, and then on the way home, I felt something coming on, and then when I woke up on Friday, I was definitely sick. But I worked on Pages Friday and Saturday. I think I took Sunday off, and did a little bit yesterday, Monday, and did a full day yesterday. So I've been trying to get through it. But to answer your question, I sit, and go, oh, I'm tired. Do I really want to do this? And when I sit at the board and start drawing, I go, yes, I really want to do this. This is great. So like it's that weird thing of procrastination, isn't it? That you
Yep, yep, yep.
that once you get over that hump and get to the job, if it's a job that you enjoy, like those
Yeah,
pages
yeah,
are,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like why am I wasting time all the time procrastinating? It's
And it's
crazy.
just sitting down behind the board. That
Yeah,
initial impetus, once you're there, it all kind of disappears mostly, and you can get into
yeah,
the rhythm. Like all I've got
yeah.
to do, and I don't know what my problem is, but all I've got to do is this.
Yeah.
And do you think I can do it as much as I want? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's easier, and it's not my idea. It's an idea that was it Hemingway or someone came up with, and it
What,
works
what a
with
loser.
comics. Just what would you say?
Well, Hemingway, a loser. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's or was it Stephen King? Anyway, and it works with comics, I think, just as well as it does for writing, and that is. Uh, don't finish at the end of a chapter or in my case, at the end of a page and go, page done. That looks lovely, up on the wall and knock off for the day. Start making the marks on the next page because that's often the hardest part is sitting down to the blank page or in this case, the uninked page and
Yep. Yep.
going, oh, where do I start? But if it's already begun, you kind of just go, well, I'll just pick up where I left off and off we go.
It's sad that you have to fool yourself. You have to trick yourself.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. It's all
pass the dummy.
psychology.
Oh, no, no. Oh, I'm drawing.
Exactly. That's right. Exactly. So yeah, they whoever it was that came up with that method or formulated the method for writing was, just leave a sentence that's half finished. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a good trick. I'm always a little bit jealous of people who can draw on a blackboard and watch TV and draw at the same time and ink.
yeah,
Not that I'm a fan of his work, but Rob Liefeld can like draw and ink wherever he, like on a cruise ship, on a train,
yeah.
while having dinner.
Don't you wonder though that if they sat in a quiet room and focused properly, that maybe the work would be that much better? And I'm not referring to Liefeld. I'm referring to just generally if you are not having, like, I don't know how anybody does it. A bunch of professionals do it. They have a documentary running. Maybe you do it. I don't know. Or the latest show that they're binging, and maybe they're binging it for the fifth time, which means they already know it and they just want some comfort noise. But I'm a pretty big believer that you splitting your focus must have an impact. It just must. Like, how could it not?
You'd think so, yeah. I've never been able to understand it myself, or do it. I've never been able to implement it. Well, the couple of times I've thought I'll just do the layouts. I'll just do some thumbnails
Oh yeah.
in front of the TV, and nothing happens. I'm just watching TV. I need to watch the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah. It's in a it's probably downstairs in one of my animation uh not a textbook, but it's used as a textbook survival guide, animated survival guide. There's like 4 pages, a 4 page comic made by an animator talking about how his most revered mentor just screamed at him one day about, what do you mean? Why don't I have Mozart on in my headphones while I'm animating? Like, you expect me to pay attention to some of the most beautiful music ever written and make proper animation at the same time? Like, it's just not possible.
yeah,
So yeah, I try to imbue that in my students, and when I catch them being properly focused, like there'd be we do an in-class exercise, and 20 minutes would pass and I don't have the music on. Other lecturers put, the lo-fi whatever in the background. I don't put any music on. I try not to talk too much.
yeah.
And then at the end of the 20 minutes, I go, guys, do you realize you didn't put on your headphones? We didn't have any talking. There was no music, and you guys were just focused. It is possible. Um, And
Yeah,
I've been doing it constantly. Maybe because I'm a little bit unwell, it's a little bit more difficult. But constantly pushing out all of the scenarios and other bullshit that's in my head as I'm doing something that's supposedly mindless, inking, which
yeah,
is nowhere near mindless,
yeah.
um, to focus.
I can't have any noise while I'm plotting. I can't have any noise while I'm actually writing on the keyboard. I can't have any noise.
Absolutely.
Um, um, I can have a bit of noise when I'm
Yeah.
penciling and inking, but that's when I can put some music on and stuff like that. But usually it's a quiet process because
Yeah.
I'm
Inking maybe, but I think every other part of the process, no.
yeah. And even if I do have music on in the background when I'm penciling or concentrating, I'm not listening to it at all.
Yeah.
It's just something that doesn't even. I'm concentrating so much that it's not going into my head. So I might as well turn it off
Yeah.
and operate in silence.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
The only good thing about the music when you're doing something as intense as inking is that when you come up to rest your back, you've actually got a reason to dance, and that helps you back as well. Um, but yeah, yeah, I can go weeks with nothing, no television or music happening in the studio at all.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's kind of frustrating when I not oh yeah, it is frustrating that I'm working away and Belle will be downstairs and want to play some music and turn it up and be in her world down there and I'm there going,
yeah,
no, bloody music.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
Not even a song that I like. Yeah. Well, that's married life.
Yeah, exactly,
Mm.
exactly.
Um,
So
uh,
yeah, thanks for asking. We're getting there. We're 5 pages in of the 14 pages, and I think I've slipped by about a day on my schedule to comfortably get it ready for Fraser Pop.
right, but you still can uncomfortably get it ready for Fraser Pop.
Uh, no, it would mean cutting corners, which is the uncomfortable part. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want to do
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, right.
But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if I can start to get a page and a half done
Oh, that
for
that momentum.
a run of maybe 5 pages. Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, totally unprepared for this subject, but when you mentioned Stephen King before, he's talked often about being one of two methods of writing, like a messy on the page writer or a chapter by chapter plotted, got it all structured first before you sit down and start writing things down. And he's one of the
Yeah,
which is why I think he has a bit of a reputation for not sticking the landing of some of his novels, which he jokes about.
right.
Yeah, and I don't know why I'm talking
Right.
about that, but yeah, just a different process people have of.
Is that called like a plotter versus a pantser?
I think,
It's
yeah,
plotter versus pantser.
yeah, I think,
You plot it out, or you go by the seat of your pants.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and I don't know what I am. I think I'm a plotter more so than a flying by the seat of the pants. I like to know where I'm heading and while allowing myself some freedom to take some side roads, but I need to know the end destination
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
sure. Yeah,
I think most good
yeah,
writers are probably the combination of the two.
yeah. But if when you get to a stage like King does of being skilled enough to wrangle the horses when they need to be wrangled, um, you know, letting the loose end drag um, works for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. I think I can hear Annabelle leaving. Annabelle was in the house this morning.
Right.
You thought we might get her on, but
Yeah,
maybe not.
no, no, no. Well, we haven't had a guest yet. Oh, no, yes, we have. We've had Anne Marie on for a couple of little cameos, and
Yeah,
uh,
we've had cameos, not guests. I wouldn't call them guests.
well, if we could get Annabelle on, it would just be for a cameo. I'm sure it'd just be
Exactly.
hi, bye. Yeah. So anyway, um, the next thing that I'd like to talk about is the loss of a bit of a
Mm.
giant in the Australian comic scene over the last couple of weeks. Earlier in the month, Steve Carter passed away. And if the viewers don't know who Steve was, he was a artist and creator and comic book artist who was um, what would you say? To simplify his descriptor as just being a horror artist or a horror writer would be diminishing him to a certain extent. I first met Steve back in the mid '80s when Frank McConaughey was starting up his and had published a couple of issues of Oz Comics and was starting a Yugal club, a get together for local creatives. And Steve was an important person at that stage, partnering up with Frank McConaughey to eventually start up New Age Graphics and do Fantastic, a very notorious Australian horror comic. But the Yugal Club is where I met Steve and eventually met Antoinette Ryder, his partner, and other old school luminaries. I've got a list here of people that I met using the Yugal Club as a social contact, which was a weekly get-together at the Yugoslav Soccer Club, initially in Haymarket in Sydney, and then it moved to different pubs around the place for get-togethers each week. But there was, Steve Carter and Frank McConaughey, and Des Waterman played an important role in the early Fantastic comics as well. He was an artist. I met Dave DeVries there with his early version of the Southern Squadron that was published in the first couple of issues of Oz Comics. The Oz Comics that Frank McConaughey ran was not the same one as what Darren Close runs. It's a different company, a different business. Bodine America was there as well. Chris Sequeira, Jason Paulos, and Don Ticchio. And that was just a small remembering of people that would go regularly to these things and compare notes. So and Steve was always there holding fort about getting a horror comic together, one that was that would shock people and be in people's faces and be not censored and be raw. And he was like that from day one, and he was like that right through to the day he died. I would assume he didn't change much over the years. So
he didn't want to do like the Marvel/DC version of what a horror comic was. He wanted to actually do stuff that would make people sit back in their chair and go, "Whoa, what am I reading here?"
Because he loved the masters like Bernie Wrightson and the EC artists, the horror artists, and of course the prose writers like Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard and all those horror guys as well. So he was across all of that, but he had a certain attitude and fixed mindset on what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it. And he was very uncompromising that way. So, rest in peace, Steve. Although he was a small in stature, he was a giant on the Australian comics front at the time.
Absolutely pivotal. Absolutely pivotal.
And well-deserved that back in a couple of years ago, 2023, he and Antoinette received the Ledger of Honor award as SCAR, the production team, Steve Carter and Antoinette Ryder, which was spooky that it actually made up the word SCAR, but I think that's absolutely perfect. And so I wrote a couple of paragraphs on the Ledger site when they did win the Ledger, or not win, when they received the Ledger of Honor award, and I thought I might just read that because it sort of summarizes my thoughts without repeating myself. So Steve Carter and Antoinette Ryder, in brackets SCAR, have forged a unique and indelible comic book career of uncompromised creativity. Together, they have explored the boundaries of horror, science fiction, and adult fantasy, from alien worlds populated by flesh-eating creatures to graphic images of body horror. SCAR has been captivating their readers with challenging, sometimes confronting, but always original stories to shock, outrage, entertain, and redefine the comic reading experience. As they are proud to advertise, no moralising, no preaching, and no compromise. It is their unwavering dedication to their craft, their single-mindedness in being true to their creative independence, despite censorship and political attacks, that they have been recognised as the 2023 Ledger of Honour recipients. And I think that still holds true now, even more so. But yeah, they faced ongoing, persecution and political attacks over their years as well. Fantastique eventually got banned. That didn't stop him at all. He just pivoted and started doing other similar things and self-published himself. So. And then he met up with Antoinette, and both of them just went on from strength to strength, doing what they love best. So very sad to hear of his passing, and hope he rests in peace, and that Antoinette can, plow on and still do the creative stuff that, she and Steve were known for.
Yeah. So how many how many hundreds of pages do you think Steve's
Oh boy, boy, oh
contributed
boy.
to? It'd
I
be
can only
thousands,
pick.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, his output was pretty bloody amazing over the years.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just looking at a photo of them at a convention with Antoinette and Steve's product on a standee at a convention, and there's books and books and books and books and
yeah,
comics and titles, and yeah, they were very prolific, and Steve was as well in the
yeah,
early days. So, and also, I was thinking the other day, just personally, that I think he might be the first to pass from that Yugal Club crowd, that
yeah,
initial group of creators. So,
yeah,
time is passing and the clock is ticking, and it's just even more reason to get behind the drawing board and if you've got anything to get done, get it done because the clock doesn't stop for you.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. That you mentioned that in a text to me as well, and that was pretty hard hitting to hear as well. You're right. I think because I was a bit of a latecomer to the Yugal Club, but I was there. I think I probably went to one of the original ones in the original Yugoslav soccer club
Yeah,
building.
yeah, right.
So I probably went once or twice there and continued on as it moved to other
Yeah,
venues.
yeah, yeah.
But uh, well, what was I going to say there? My head's all over the place. Um, but oh yeah, so yeah, that group of creators that I was meeting there, you listed, most of them there as well. It's a yeah, it was a bit shocking to hear that one of that cohort, our cohort, is
Yeah,
has
yeah.
passed like that as well. So yeah,
It very much was a brother and sisterhood. Because
yeah,
those early days of the Yugal partners would come along as well. So there'd be, much comic talk and very, very social. And it lasted for quite a few years, even when it did change from pub to pub.
oh yeah,
And when I moved from Chippendale to go to WA back in the early 90s, it was being held at the Chippendale Hotel just around the corner. And
yeah,
we'd get quite a good turnout. It was quite the thing to look forward to every Thursday night. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I miss that social interaction, which is part of the reason why we do this show. So
mm,
we can just talk comics and yabba yabba yabba. So anyway,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So a bit sad to hear of his passing, but time marches on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And our best to Antoinette.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Um, that's all I got really for today. Do you have anything on your list that you'd like to discuss?
That's it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Years later.
I was trying to,
Uh,
as I said to you before we pressed record, I was trying
yes,
to dig up my work diaries that we've
yes,
talked about before,
yeah.
which turned into a bit of chaos because the box that I thought they were in, they weren't in. So I started emptying boxes to find
Yeah.
out if I can find them in these other archive boxes. And now all I've got is a studio full of empty boxes and piles of paper
Get
and crap
everywhere.
trying to find the diaries. So thanks a lot,
Um,
McEwen.
yeah, right.
Haven't
The,
found them
the,
yet. So
kiddies at home who haven't listened to every show, there was an episode months and months and months ago where I brought out a work diary from like 1998 or 7 or something. And I just went through a bunch of pages of what I was up to and trying to get the comics to distributors and printers and on television and whatnot. So I thought it'd be interesting to get a similar thing out of Gary. But it'll happen when the time is right. It'll appear. Um, and we'll
at
do
the
it that
moment,
week.
with the piles as they are, I just feel like getting a box of matches and just
Woof.
that's one way to archive all that shit.
Make sure it's outside before you archive it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. And don't tell Danny Best because he's going, no, don't burn that stuff.
Exactly. Um, okay, well, we've already gone through a couple of things on my list, but something that is now official is Make has been announced. Did you see the announcement for Make? And Make
No,
stands for Melbourne
art,
Arts
artists.
Comic Expo, Melbourne. Oh man, I should have looked that up.
Is it
But it's
make?
a it,
Is it make with a K?
it is make kind of with a K, but also with a C. And
Make.
yeah, I think it's I think it's C, which makes it Mace, but I think they like the idea that we make stuff, and maybe
Yeah.
Mace is a little bit too violent. Let me see if I can find it just quickly, um, because it's on the Instagram. So it's the Melbourne Alt Comics Expo. Melbourne Alt Comics Expo, comics with a C, but they put an extra line there to make it a K, and then it's make. So yeah, look that up on Instagram, possibly the best place to go. Make Comics Festival or the Melbourne Alt Comics Expo. Make is
Alt
is
for
on
alternative. Yes.
Alt for alternative. Yeah. So they've announced a date. And they've announced that they're going to open for tables as well soon. So the date is October 9, 10, 11. And applications will open on June 24. So whatever day
That's
that
next
is.
week sometime, next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Cool. Okay. And
Three, a 3-day extravaganza across the city of Melbourne. Comics, sequential art, graphic narratives, manga, fumetti, bande dessinée, comic, whatever you want to call it, we make room for it. Keep your eyes peeled for next week when we open applications for the Artist Alley. They're on. It's on like Donkey Kong. I'm pretty keen to maybe go down myself for to Melbourne for the first time in a long time.
Yeah. Because it's an alternative to Sydney. Alternative.
Is that what the alt stands for?
Yeah. And do you know who's behind this? Anyone that we know of interest?
I haven't officially been told, but I believe it's Bruce Mutard.
Okay. Right.
But where else did I read it? Did I get something in the mail? I read it somewhere, but it's by and for comic book makers and academics. So we've had that academic festival that was on last year where they did a little exhibition and a live reading and some talks and whatnot. I would say it's a similar group to that, but let's wait until we see an update to their website. And hopefully that will start listing all of that information. So,
right, okay.
Who exactly?
Interesting. Okay, well, so another festival, and it's across Melbourne, so multiple locations,
which is a pretty clever way to do it. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think
simple way of doing it is organising a bus and just having a convention on a bus, and then have the bus go around the city.
I was going to say, wasn't that the Caravan of Comics?
Yeah, that's right. A double-decker bus where downstairs is tables, and upstairs is artwork. And anyway, shut up, Gary.
Yeah. So I just went to the website to see if I could see anything about the makeup of the show, but it's pretty blank at the moment. It's all placeholders. When you go to our team page, there's lots of Does and a couple of Smiths on there: John Doe, Jane Doe, Michael Doe, Gary Smith, and John Smith.
Yeah, so it's a family affair.
Mm-hmm.
The Does and the Smiths are going to be there.
So not yet, not worth going to the website.
But I'm sure that behind the scenes that's all coming together.
Absolutely.
So
I did see it maybe on Facebook or something, but I did see a little bit more writing on it than that. So, but yeah, keep that in mind. That should be cool. So I thought that was important. The fact that that's finally been announced, especially if it's going to be in October and they want people to table, we need to make our arrangements.
Yeah. And although we're not involved, around the same time in October would be the Australian Comic Arts Awards Festival is supposed to be happening around that time as well. Just being
scuttlebutt. Yeah. It's all scuttlebutt.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully.
But October could be looking very crowded.
So or if you want to talk about that, yes, it looks. The last I heard was that Australian Comic Arts Awards, the Comic Arts Awards of Australia, were looking at putting on their own festival in Canberra at that late time in the year, and Scamp, let's call it its correct name.
Sydney Comic Art Marketplace.
Is is also usually on at that time of the year. So I'm hoping that they're talking to each other and not crashing. It's too important to.
Yeah.
I mean, with that in mind, that would be Paper Cuts, PCAF, Make, uh, Comic Arts of
Festival.
Australia Festival, and Scamp as 5 festivals a year from nothing like 5 years ago. Or how
Yeah.
long has PCAF been around for? But nothing a number of years ago, and now we're looking at 5. Surely we can make sure that we're keeping off each other's toes, not standing on each other's toes as we dance around.
Yeah. That's right. But, we are just humans.
Yeah. All the more reason to just chat to each other and get it right.
You'd
We're
think.
all just humans. Just chat. Just
But you know
talk.
what's going to happen.
Don't tell me what's going to happen, Gary.
Smash.
Politics.
That other show, Smash, that we were
that's
referring to
Smash.
the other week. Smash.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that's the thing. There's just so many other shows as well. There's going to be some. There's Comic Street have expanded in Brisbane. They're like taking over a building this time, or like a floor, not a whole building, but they're moving inside for their 10th anniversary. I don't know if you've ever been to Smash, but I haven't been since it was like a dinky little thing in the roundhouse at the University of New South Wales. But now it's at the biggest convention centre in Sydney, and it sells out. It's huge. It's just so packed. So there's so many things that go on in this country from small to large that definitely there's going to be doubling up of events, but hopefully not of the same event. Like you don't want 2 festivals on the same weekend. You don't want 2 comic conventions in the same city on the same weekend. You just don't want it.
I feel like there needs to be a website that lists a calendar of there needs to be that kind of thing so that people can see what's on what weekend. And, if they're going to start a new event, they can plan accordingly. Maybe October is getting a bit full.
Even me just trying to keep track of it so that I can start to plan what conventions I want to go to. I gave up about 18 months ago. I gave up.
Yeah, that's the other side of it.
They disappear and they appear out of nowhere so quickly. I was going, you know what? Maybe I'll just wait and I'll start this again later.
Yeah. It could turn into problems for creators choosing which is the best arts festival or outlet for them to inquire about.
Yeah.
I mean, they all need support, but as you say, a little bit of communication would be great to alleviate any nasty train wrecks of timing and crashing with other people's plans.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations to them for making this start things. Yeah. But it has an academic bent. You say?
Look, I would assume so.
Yeah.
The thing that excites me most is to see if they have guests. And if they have guests, who the guests might be, because they are likely to be very different to what the big comic conventions get.
Yeah. Indeed.
So I'm always interested to see that. So,
well, I'll just turn my phone on in case they want to ring me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chaloner for Make. That's the picket sign I've got. Chaloner for Make.
Hello. No one yet. No. This phone hasn't gone off in years.
Is that your burner?
Yeah.
Okay. And talking about comics events, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here because goodness knows what could happen between now and August. But I reckon I'm going to do an in-store signing at Cockatoo Comics in August. And that's probably, there's nothing official. It's all scuttlebutt. That's just scuttlebutt. That's just me and Siobhan going, hey, can I do this? Yeah, you could do that. Hey, how should we do this? So let's have a think about it.
Well, that's how things start.
I want to, that's right. I want to do an in-store, not a launch, like the launch that you and I did at King's Comics for Adventure Illustrated #1. That was a big deal. We had huge tables and pull-ups and lots of promo from King's Comics, and they're such a great supporter. I kind of want to do something that's a little bit more kind of homely and just be in a shop for a day. Obviously, promote it, but and just sit and see how that goes. Almost like having an artist alley store,
Yeah,
type
right.
shop.
Yeah. So
That's
Siobhan
my
can actually
plan.
Siobhan can just give you the shop keys. She can take the day off, and
Ah, I hope she does.
you can
Then
run the place.
she'll come back to a very empty $2 bin, I'm sure. um, Samuel, my son's been a couple of times to the shop on the weekend, and he says it's packed.
Wow.
It may, and we're all going. Hopefully, that's what will continue to happen. But maybe it's the blush of a newborn comic shop, and people are coming in. But hopefully, that will be the case. That they're
Yeah.
just in the right place to get like good people through the door randomly. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. On an ongoing basis. It's not just a new thing. It's a Newtown thing
Yes,
of
exactly.
people coming to Newtown all the time and going for their walk down the road and
Yeah,
going into one vintage shop and one comic shop and one record shop and back to the comic
exactly.
shop and then saying, out of all, I'm not going to buy any records, not going to buy any clothing. I'm going to buy comics.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. More comics more often. Let's
That's
see if
right.
we can
Yes.
make that happen.
And
But
you're
yeah,
living proof. You're living proof of that with your wall of production that's happening there. Yeah, exactly right. Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. Okay. So
Yeah,
well done, Siobhan. Hope it keeps on powering on.
yeah, absolutely. So I was only like it wasn't until after I said that I thought to myself, oh, possibly should have asked Siobhan first if I could say it on the show. Oh well, too late now.
It's just scuttlebutt.
It's scuttlebutt.
Everyone, it may not happen. It may not happen.
Exactly.
But if it does
Exactly.
happen,
I've
you'll be
got
the second to know.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. I've got to finish this bugger
Yep.
and then I've got to get to Fraser Pop and then Siobhan's going to be at it's probably scuttlebutt, but who cares? Siobhan will be at PCAF. So we've got to wait until all of that settles down, and then we'll put on a Saturday at the
Right.
shop.
Okay. Yeah. There's
So yeah,
Siobhan. Is she got a creative background? Does she do comics herself, or has done comics in the past?
that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Hmm. Okay. Right. Tick. We'll talk about that. Edit that out.
No, like end of subject.
In the subject. Pivot.
I don't know. I'll ask her.
I'll just go do some drawing. Oh no, I won't. Distracted doing a show.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. So that's that.
that'd be good if it does in August, because I hear that October's looking pretty full.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You hung a little bit there.
Okay. So, and talking of sorry, talking of finishing this bugger here on the wall, I'm constantly, not constantly, I'm often in contact with um, Darren Close about the cover for Green Pastures Team Up because we're doing an Oz Comics exclusive cover. So he's showing me examples of the kind of composition and whatnot. And out of the blue, Jason Paulos, who's got the backup story in Team Up #1, which is a Hairbutt Trevor team up, said, have you done the cover yet? I want to see it, which I haven't. And I think all of that stuff in my head, somehow the thought occurred to me, I could do it as a flip book and do 2 covers, one for Killaroo and one for Hairbutt.
You could
and double my workload.
You could. If my
what I
opinion
did?
has any say at all, I really don't like flip books.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
I don't know. It just strikes me as difficult to. Well, yeah, I don't know. Just I don't like them. Never have. It rubs my fur the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, you know what I did? I had to lie down until the feeling went away.
That's the correct
your
answer.
advice.
That's the correct action. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just seeing if yeah. So that's from ages ago. Greener Pastures, a read to me special, which
Right,
there was only a few of them made.
Yeah.
So a story which appeared in a comic by my son Samuel. I did a 4-pager for him ages ago called "Your Music Sucks, Man."
Yeah. Yes, right.
For a music anthology, and then I did it as a live reading at a read to me once as well, which was very cool. But on the same night, Sam did a reading of his comic called Good Grief, which was about him coming to terms with a death in the family.
Yeah, right.
So he did that one at the same read to me. So we did a flip book,
Flip. Yeah. So if you're a
right?
collector of Sam's work and a collector of greener pastures, how do you catalog that? How do you store it?
Exactly,
Yeah, I think that's
exactly.
what's getting to me. I mean, hey, I don't want to be anal because I don't want to be that guy. But as a comic collector, and there are a lot of comic collectors out there, they'd be going, "I hate flip books because,"
Yeah,
and that's the reason.
buy two copies. So yeah.
Always
Anyway,
hustling, aren't you? Always hustling. Hustle, hustle, hustle.
but yeah, the thing that made me stop rather was a couple of things. One was that as it is, I'm doing two covers or one and a half covers. Um, so this would mean doing two and a half covers, which I really don't want to do. And the other thing is, I think it's going to be pretty um, bare bones in that there'll be because it's a 14 pager and a 10 pager, that's 24 pages. It leaves no room for editorial unless I add four more pages, which I'm not keen on doing. Um, so the outside back cover and the inside back cover are the only editorial space.
Right.
So
Okay.
I don't really want to lose those spaces either.
Yeah.
So
Fair
in
enough.
the end, I decided not. But for a moment there, I thought I was a genius again and I should do a flip book. And then
No,
every issue will be a flip book. And I'm going, no, see what you're doing? Okay, lie down.
yeah, don't be fooled by this whole being a genius business.
Yeah, it's not true.
You ain't a genius. No.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
It's said with
and
much
then
love.
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Don't flip
Um,
out on the flip book.
exactly.
Mm,
Exactly. And
yeah.
then to invoke the name of Paulos, a couple of weeks ago, I should have brought this up a couple of weeks ago, when we were in the mountains, when I was in the mountains,
Mhm.
and I talked about how I said hello to Angus Olsen
Yep.
in a little coffee nook there, and who else lived in the mountains. And there was one person whose name I couldn't remember, and Jason reminded me it was Toby Blanchard, mini comics guy from back in the 90s and 2000s, one of the two Tobys who are doing mini comics.
Right.
Yeah, so he's another mountains comic book maker, and reasonably recently, like raised his head again to make cartoons and comics and art. So yeah, keep an eye out for
Yeah.
Toby if you're a mountain person,
Yeah.
Blue Mountains person.
Mm. Yes. My connection to the Blue Mountains is slowly fading away. Besides Jason being there, because my brother used to live in Hazelbrook, and he recently just sold up and moved out, and so there's no real reason for me to go into the mountains anymore unless I'm tourist targeting things. But visiting family, sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not a
exactly. I
reason
will.
to go to although I do love going to the Norman Lindsay house
Yeah.
and museum. That's a lovely
I
spot.
was about to say I've only ever been there once and not really had a good look. So I'm every time we drive through, I just wish that we had um, uh, factored in some more time in that
Yeah,
trip so that
yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah,
go there. So we're going to go there. I think we're also going to go to the Carrington, which I talked about the last time. The Carrington Hotel was beautiful. Going
yeah.
to go there and have another tea and scones.
Was that
I think
actually on the highway or was it a bit off the highway?
I was off the highway. It
Right,
was on the main drag of Katoomba,
right, okay.
um, just near
Yeah.
the station, up that end, but main drag of
I'm
Katoomba.
kind of sure that across my life I must have been there at least once.
Mm.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, lovely spot by the photos that you showed me anyway. Yeah.
Yes, it's gorgeous. Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Okay, what else you got?
Have you really got nothing else?
I really have nothing else.
Okay.
Hey, it can be a
Um,
short show. I don't really care.
I don't care. I don't care about this show. Well, look, I've got a really weird thing
Oh,
uh, that is I don't know if it's a bit too heavy to talk about, and whether or not it's we're going to be bookending this episode with heavy stuff. Um, so we've been rewatching the Bear in preparation for the last season to come out soon. Uh, But anyway, one of the things that comes out of the big upheaval between second and third season is Kami, who is ostensibly the main character, the chef, who's taking over his deceased brother's little restauranty thing, uh, changes gears about attitude to how to make the restaurant be as good as he wants it to be and as good as one of the other characters wants it to be, and really how good they should all want it to be. But anyway, and he makes this list called the non-negotiables. And watching the episode when he does it and the following episode, a lot of them are pretty unhinged, which I feel like is part of the theme for the third season is like it's that whole if you've ever seen Whiplash, how much is unhealthy commitment.
Yeah, right, right, okay.
So there's a bit of that, I think.
The drumming film.
Yes, that's right. Whiplash, yeah. So a lot of the non-negotiables are rightly freaked out at by some of the other characters, but a lot of them can see the good stuff in there. And I'm watching that episode and I'm going, again, talking about the psychology of getting past the procrastination and getting these pages done. And, I thought here's another tool to help psychologically fool myself into doing more and doing better, which, like, if there's an overall theme to the Bear so far, I guess it's do more and do better.
Right.
And so his non-negotiables are maybe 24 points long. There's a lot.
Right.
And I sat there and I went, well, what would non-negotiables be for someone like me? Not necessarily for me, but probably for me. Stop being oblique about it, Tim. So what would the non-negotiables look like? And I thought I would end up writing.
Give us an example of one. What do you?
Yeah, so I ended up writing a few, and I thought this is actually, they don't sound stupid, and they're things I've already tried to put in place in other manners, like by time blocking and by to-do listing, and by setting up workspaces. But maybe just a succinct, concrete list of don't forget. Like, I think that's what the non-negotiable is. Don't forget this is what it's about. So the list that I just jotted them down while I was watching the show, really, and nothing else. Like, I haven't really gone back to it. Were pages first. That seems to be the big problem for me, is that I do all the other things first. I look at the emails first and go, oh, that's important, I'll reply to it. Or I do the vacuuming first, or, the whole busy work as procrastination, while really pages should be first. And I thought that's probably the most important non-negotiable. Pages first, and then you get to do all the other bullshit that you think is important and is not.
Yeah.
If pages don't get made,
because what are you first? You're a cartoonist.
That's right, exactly. And if the pages don't get made, comics don't get printed, and then you're not a comic book artist because no comics are being made.
Yep.
So pages first. For my own kind of scheduling, right? We've talked about deadlines before, you and I, and how you and I are in a pretty good position where we don't have to have deadlines if we don't want them. And any deadline we create is probably artificial anyway.
Yeah.
But I do like the urgency, the gentle urgency that comes from having some kind of deadline. So mine are quarterly. I'd like to try to get 4 comics done a year, 2 greener pastures and 2 team ups.
Yeah.
And if there's ever another trade paperback, it will take the place of one of those quarterlies. So the second thing I wrote down, so this is stream of consciousness. So I guess these are the things that my subconscious thinks are the most important, right? So number 1 was pages first, and number 2 was hit the quarterlies. So to try to get on top of and keep that quarterly schedule would be great. And then I've got focus, which is as micro as stop thinking about who you have to talk to at the grocery store while you're inking, right? Why have you got a thought like that while you're trying to get 100 lines all parallel to each other. So it's micro like that to the macro, which is focus on the comics are what you're trying to get done, and everything
Yeah.
should prop that up. So that's the kind of focus I'm talking about there, that whole level, and keep going. So I feel like I've almost said the same two things twice. Pages first and focus seems to almost say the same thing, and hit the quarterlies and keep going almost says the same thing as well, but subtly different enough that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So
And
I feel like
you're reiterating an important point each time, though, which is worth repeating, which is to keep going, is
yeah,
the momentum.
yeah, yeah. I
So
think, and I feel like if you wrote the word momentum, like if you were gonna distill it down into like a couple of keywords, maybe momentum would be one of the words. But to put it on a non-negotiable, it's like, what does that mean? It's like
yeah,
it's not actually
yeah. No,
a
you're breaking
directive.
down what it means to have momentum.
Yes,
You're giving yourself clarity of what that means.
I think that's right. And then I think I started to copy a little bit more of what Kami was writing. So he's trying to turn what is basically a sandwich shop into a two-hatted
Right. Okay.
restaurant, right? So completely opposite ends. So I think these are not as important to me, and that sounds terrible. And again, this is me like being pretty honest about how stuff works, right? Um, I think these things will just come from the fact that I might be doing more pages more often, and I've got better focus. These things will come, but these are definitely like if you watch those episodes, you'll see them there. Push the boundaries, be innovative, be courageous, the pursuit of excellence. So that's four things. But as I was writing them down, I'm going, no, I am doing that because I'm trying to be innovative. We've had so many talks on this show about trying to extricate myself from having to do comic conventions because by and large, they don't really care about me specifically or comics in general. So I should set up my own method of getting to new and current readers, which was what the whole
Yeah.
Cucumgillicon tour
Yeah.
that I'm still, in folders here being talked about by Anne-Marie and I. I think that's where I'm going. Be innovative, right? Be innovative in how you approach the business side of things. And when I get to those points of the Greener Pastures comic, be innovative about your storytelling as well. Don't and that connects to be courageous, right? So don't go to the comic conventions. Do your own tour. Don't be like mundane with your layouts. Do something that's a bit crazy and see how that goes. So although I feel like they're to use a pretty coarse word, they feel like some of the most wankerish parts of the non-negotiables. I can see how they're quite concrete and real in a number of ways that makes me feel comfortable. I'm not being a wanker when I say it. So pushing boundaries, be innovative, be courageous, and the pursuit of excellence. The pursuit of excellence thing is the hardest part because I could spend 2 whole weeks, 7 hours a day on a single page to just make it totally excellent, but it'll never get finished. So
Yeah.
that whole pursuit of excellence thing isn't necessarily covered in caveats, but it's within the context of what is really going to work for what we're trying to produce.
Yeah, and it seems to me that those four things that were in the Bear show are more conceptual than what you've given us when you mark down your list of non-negotiables. They are very concrete. And sure, the Bears list can be overlaid your list, and you can break that all down. Am I being courageous in my artwork? Am I being courageous in my business planning? Am I being courageous? They're all overarching concepts, while you've given yourself very specific, concrete things that you can hang on to as soon as you can say it in your head. It's like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about now. I've got to get a page done. Got to get a comic out in the quarter. I mean, they're physical things, and all those other things that the Bear was relating to. They all get entangled. They're all entwined in your list anyway, I think.
Yeah, I think that's true. and then there's a couple of line returns. So I think I came back to this and thought to myself, is there anything else I should put in there? And the only other thing I could think of was clean as you go, which is again
Very chefy thing.
it's very restaurant oriented,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That otherwise things fall apart. But it definitely happens here in my little studio that if I don't clean at the end of a session or the end of a page or the end of a project, like it's nothing can get done. And it's easy for that to be an addition to the procrastination barrier,
yeah, yeah,
that the fact that it's a mess and you kind of, so if you kind of make sure that things are cleaned as you go, I put on my socials a couple of weeks ago a picture of Boots sleeping on the floor just there. So it showed quite a bit of the studio, and somebody said that's an unnaturally clean studio or something like that
yeah, yeah,
in a remark. I go, yes, I'm just trying to keep everything in its place so that if I need a new nib, I know where to go to get it, and if
yeah,
I need some more ink or whatever, I know
yeah,
where it is.
yeah.
It's not like
Yeah, no, I think it's a good point to keep in mind. I reckon that's a valuable one.
yeah. So yeah, and there is an overarching theme, which is all about time ticking and ticking away, which, feeds into so much of what we've said in the past about our own age, our own feeling of mortality, your diagnosis with Parkinson's, just today talking about Steve Carter.
Yeah, yeah,
But so there is this whole thing about uh, time is ticking away,
yeah,
and
yeah,
there is a specific phrase called "every second counts." That's a really, especially in the second season, is just rammed down our throats in the most beautiful way. It's like it's well done, but that's like the obvious overarching theme for the whole thing. Every second counts.
yeah, yeah. And to be
Yeah,
realistic about what you'd like to get done versus what you can get done, given your situation.
yeah.
And
Well, see
everyone's
that.
different.
Yeah, that's where it comes down to a very personal level. It's like
Yeah,
what can you get done personally, really, as opposed to this make-believe world where Kami Bizotto is making a restaurant, right? It's all
yeah,
make-believe, and
yeah,
they're putting themselves through stuff that I wouldn't put myself through.
yeah,
Um, but uh, but yeah, and I try to tell my students that this is why we make and watch stories to live vicariously experiences that we really shouldn't live ourselves. So Kami is learning shit about himself and his life. And hopefully we're learning stuff about ourselves and our lives without having to go through the shit he's going
yeah,
through, by watching him do it instead. So
yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
this is I keep on telling my students to watch this show and to watch Tick Tick Boom, to watch, which these are movies now, Tick Tick Boom, Whiplash, and La La Land, like to
Right. Okay.
understand the artist's journey,
Yeah.
or not the journey, but decisions, the artist's life decision, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't.
How many of those have I seen?
How many? Really?
I haven't seen any
Oh
of them.
shit!
Yeah. Well,
Couldn't get into them. You couldn't get into Whiplash?
I think I've seen Whiplash, and I was like, yeah, okay. A
Wow.
little bit traumatized by the bullying that went on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was my takeaway.
Right.
It's not a good
Fantastic.
rewatch movie.
No, no, no. And I tell my students to watch Whiplash first and La La Land second, so that you can come down from Whiplash, because that's pretty hard work, Whiplash. But and the fact that they're written and directed by the same guy, and it's
Right.
the
Okay.
same theme. It's the same theme via several different characters,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
shown in very different ways. They're incredible movies. Should try it again. Do
Mm.
that as your Saturday and Sunday movie nights. Do Whiplash and then do La La
Oh, I
Land.
want to put on my Ghost of Frankenstein and my Universal horror films. That's relaxing. That's relaxing. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Ah, that's good. Yeah. None of this Whiplash
Exactly.
bullshit. Now that just ramps up the old shoulders. I end up walking around like this for a while.
Oh, exactly. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Yeah,
Give me hey chick.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough too.
Is that it?
I reckon that's it. I reckon I've done that to death.
Yeah, good stuff. No, we covered a bit of ground there. That'll do for the week.
Brilliant.
What do we say then? If beyond watching The Bear and all these other traumatic shows,
More comics, more often.
and clean up after yourself. God damn it!
Damn it.
What's that mess on the? Oh, Gary, clean up after yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Bye.
I'll see you guys later.